Hello everyone, and thanks so much for tuning in for the psychic reading of the astrology chart for the new moon eclipse. We're rolling right into eclipse season. This is going to be the new moon eclipse at 10 degrees of Taurus, and it's occurring on April 30th, 4:28 p.m. Eastern, but times will vary. Real quickly, my name is Vickie Verlie. I'm the Rock and Roll Prophetess, and you can find me at vickieverlie.com. Do not be fooled by imposters, okay? Yeah, so this is the new moon in Taurus chart, which I've actually been looking at quite extensively because I'm doing the eclipse readings for people. I do the new moon and the full moon eclipse. You know, the big news about this one is that it's right in there with this conjunction of Uranus. You know, actually Uranus is, you know, it's within 4 degrees here, but it's also, you know, pretty close with the north node here, you know. So Uranus is this like pivotal point, or kind of breaking through, or the guides are coming through with bridging the old with the new, which is of course, you know, a Uranian thing anyway, and has been doing. It's halfway through its journey through Taurus, because it started here at 0 Taurus and now it's halfway through to, it goes up to 30 degrees if you're not familiar. So it's like a halfway point. We've got these eclipses here, so some really powerful things can be put in place. Unpredictable, you know, that's the, if I had to pick one word to describe the Uranian influence of the planet of Uranus, it would be, you know, unpredictable. So things could change in an instant. What I really feel like, and what's coming up in a lot of the chart reads that I've been doing so far, it can be things that you felt really stuck for a long time. Things that have been really stuck, and with the Taurian energy, the fixed energy, it can be set in stone. No, this isn't going to fly. This is how it's got to be. You know, coming up against an immovable force, or so it would seem. The Uranian energy mixed in with the power of this eclipse, it can really, you know, change things big time. All of a sudden, things could start moving again. Things that were stalled out can really start moving again. And, you know, and it's apropos in the world, because the world is opening up again after COVID. So people are wanting their freedom. They're wanting to get back out again. Maybe we couldn't, a lot of things that we couldn't do for a very long time, we're being able to do again, you know, in large part. And definitely in the U.S., and I know a lot of places in Europe as well, is starting to really open up now. So we're able to move forward. We're able to get past these immovable forces, and things could change in an instant. There's an excitement in the air. That's what the guides are coming through with, and I can feel it. It's palpable. There's an excitement in the air. We're looking forward to getting back into life again. We're looking forward to getting back into action, and to, you know, be out and about and not be tethered to being stuck somewhere in particular. So a new moon eclipse is always a very powerful time to begin something new. So we're starting on this new chapter as a collective. And it is in the sign of Taurus, in which it rules the second house in the flat wheel, which is what I use in these charts. Second house Taurus, ruled by Venus, all similar energy if you're not familiar. So it's all in the second house here. So, you know, absolutely could have to do with money, commerce. A lot of people, maybe you're getting back to work. You know, maybe you're going to start, you know, a lot of people have been on extended leaves from work, and maybe you're going to get back into work, you know. It feels like, you know, because Taurus does like their routines too. Like all the earth signs, Taurus really likes their routine. So it's like getting back into a routine, but maybe not the same as before, probably not the same as before, but feeling like maybe we're on some kind of solid ground, or we're adjusting to the new normal. Really, that's probably even closer to what the vibe is. There's also this huge stellium in Pisces here, and Venus, the ruler of this new moon. Taurus is ruled by Venus, as I just showed you. So over here, where's the ruling of the new moon with this Venus? It's right here, and it's sandwiched between the Neptune and the Jupiter. So dreamy, mysterious, magical miracle stuff. I mean, with the Uranian energy flipped in there, you know, things could just flip on a dime. Long-standing dreams can come a reality. I think a lot of people too, and myself included, you know, it's just like, hey, you know, tomorrow's never promised. You know, what do you, get off your duff, what are you waiting for? You know, like I put out my solo album. I've been wanting to do it for years. I've got probably many solo albums in me. I've got so much music and so much material. And to me, it's just like, well, what are you waiting for? You know, just put it out there. It's easier than ever to do so many things because of technology, which is also a major Uranian, you know, connection there. The technology that we have now, you can do just so many things that you couldn't do before. Even though Uranus does rule, you know, the Aquarian, the 11th house, but you're not tethered. I keep coming up with this word tethered. You're not tethered. It's going to be an untethering of things that we've been tied to or limited by our peer groups here, where we have the Saturn is in the Aquarian here. So these limiting things, it's just like, you know, I don't care if anybody thinks it's cool or likes, you know, or if anybody else is doing it, or, you know, or talking, maybe not releasing an album, but just like talking about extra dimensional and extraterrestrial, you know. I don't care if anybody, you know, anymore. It's just like, you know what? We're standing in our truth, and our truth not only in our beliefs and what we know innately. With the Pisces energy we're bringing in, you know, what we know innately. We all know our soul mission. We all are born with a soul mission. We all have a contact to our higher self, our spirit guides, and the angelic realms, and the, you know, higher vibrational, higher dimensional contacts. And we all have these innate knowings. We're all pulled through our nodes and through the transits of the nodes. We're all pulled in the direction that we are meant to go in our incarnation. This is a real game changer and a paradigm shift. When I did the May tarot readings, that term was coming through a lot, and I do feel like that is apropos to just about everybody here. It could be a paradigm shift if that's, you know, if you embrace it, and if you have not the courage, maybe a little bit of courage, but just the you know, my guides always talk about it being in your truth, you know, not trying to be in this fitting in with the crowd, or what will everybody think if I start talking about aliens, or what will everybody think if I put out a solo album at my age, you know. And it's not rock at all. You know, I've always been a rock, you know, musician. It's definitely way off to the right of rock, you know. So and it's just like, well, the universe gifted me with these songs. I'm going to put them out there. Don't die with your song still in you. But your song can be a metaphor for just about anything in your life, you know, that you've been, yeah, someday, you know, well, I really want to do this thing, or I'm really feeling this thing, or I'm really being pulled toward, or I'm really, you know, always imagined or dreamt of this thing. You know, so it could be because Pisces is the 12th house, you know, rules the 12th house, and it is, you know, the endings of things. So a lot of times when there's a lot of 12th house activity, particularly like in your own chart, you know, that could be that things are coming to an end or coming to a finale. But these are endless cycles. But there are big cycles that are coming to an end here. Things could happen really quickly also because of the Uranian energy. You know, Neptune is very slow and dreamy, and it's always sort of in the background, not really coming right out into the forefront here. Uranus could be, all of a sudden, it's there. Like you say, I want to do this, and then bang, bang, boom. Synchronicities are rampant. That's what the guides are coming through with. Synchronicities are running rampant. And there was just a channel the other day that they came through with. I was channeling, and what were they saying? Manifestation is going to be faster than acceleration, you know, of manifestation faster than ever before, than we've ever seen in our lifetime. And this is all part of it. And this is the dreamy energy of the Neptunian. I say Neptunian meaning all the Pisces stuff, not just the planet Neptune. All this Pisces stuff: Jupiter, Venus, Neptune, Mars, Juno, Pallas. I'm not even sure about these asteroids, sorry. I just leave them in the chart for whatever, you know. I believe that's actually Juno. But whatever the case, we've got this huge concentration of the Piscean energy here. So this is our dreaming, our subconscious. This is a prime time to get in contact with these higher realms, to get in, you know, to get that line of communication going, to get those psychic downloads, creativity off the hook. Jupiter and Venus and Neptune all together. This is great for any type of creativity, especially though it would be film. You know, Neptune rules over film, whether it's, you know, photographs or, you know, video, you know, video film. camera, photography, beauty, you know, divine. It's just divine energy. And it's this special, in particularly, this last ones, they're really lined up in it. The Venus-Jupiter is dead on. Look at, I mean, almost exactly dead on. 27 degrees, 56 minutes, 27 degrees, 57 minutes. I mean, you literally can't get any closer than this other than being exactly on the dot. So this is so powerful. Jupiter is amplifying this Piscean energy with the help of Neptune bringing up the rear here. And then it's, you know, it's putting the Venus spin on it. Because as with every aspect, every planet, everything, there's always positive and negative expressions of all of them. So, but the positive expressions, you know, because Jupiter and Neptune together, just that, with the absence of the Venus, sure, it can be all those things we just talked about, but it also can, you know, it can go the other way. You know, it can be drugs, alcohol, mental illness, you know, things not being clear. There's that aspect of it too. But I think the Venus energy coming in is just going to really align it right with that positive vibe, hopefully. The other, if there's a downside to this, you know, the Venus and the Jupiter together can be overindulgent, you know, in whatever however you're expressing this Piscean energy, which of course that would show in your natal chart where it's transiting, and that would absolutely be one of the things that I would look at if you do the eclipse reading for the private reading. But this is all beautifully sextiling too, with the north node and trining with the south node. You know, the trine with the south node here, this can be a release. You know, South Node in Scorpio, releasing stuff could be pretty harsh. I mean, South Node's transiting Scorpio can be like, we're having some really harsh realities, you know, like they never really loved me, or, you know, oh, I feel like I've just wasted my whole life, or, you know, these really kind of hurtful, harsh realities with Scorpio, because that's like the big raw truth, you know. That's just, you know, the open wound and, you know, no mercy with the Scorpio vibe. But bringing this beautiful trine energy with this beautiful Jupiter, Venus, Neptune trining it directly, there can be maybe the release can be a little more not so not so stinging, you know, with the Scorpionic energy, more on the line of being able to let go with a blessing, and, you know, coming to higher understandings about things. And that's another thing that's been coming up in a lot of the readings that I've been doing. Mainly, I think, because of the second one. When we get to the full moon, which I'm not going to get into too much now, but then we have the Venus Chiron, and that's going to be another expression of that as well. Okay, what else is going on at this time? Saturn is squaring the nodes too. Saturn's been squaring the nodes, but because it's captured in this eclipse chart, this is a snapshot of the energy and the vibrational frequencies of all the planetary stuff that is going on right at that moment. Therefore, where everything is at this moment is also impactful, and also will have an impact going forward, you know, possibly even up to 6 months into the future. So it's not your average new moon astrology chart. You know, this packs a punch. This there's Pallas, so that is Juno, if anybody was hung up on that or worried about it. That's Juno over there. You know, Mars Juno and the Mars Venus, you know, definitely like romance stuff. That's a thing, you know, a lot of it, especially if you might have some kind of Pisces in your chart here, you know, a lot of attraction toward you and toward whatever you're offering, you know. Where is it? Again, that might be where it is in your chart. Are you offering, you know, some beautiful work, your masterpiece or something? You know, you're putting that out into the world now. It would be super powerful to launch things at this time. I didn't even think of that. Very powerful launch date. Also, I do believe that Mercury is direct too, is it not? Where's our Mercury hiding at? Mercury, there it is, yeah. So we have no big retrograde planets other than Pluto and the node. So yeah, this would be a very powerful day to launch things, especially anything that has to do with money, finance, you know, commerce is coming through, some kind of a new business plan, idea, website, you know, Uranian energy, you're bringing in the technology, websites, things like this. It could, you know, be very, take hold in a very substantial way, and even trigger something or connect to something that through the collective unconscious here, you know, where there's it could, if you're at the right place at the right time. The collective unconscious is there to be had, or there to be harnessed, or there to be the guides came through with exploited, but that maybe, you know, it could be that too, but of course that's not something we want to strive for, hopefully. But yeah, there is this coming together of the collective unconscious, you know, even though things in the 3D reality, in the 3D world that we're in, you know, may seem, you know, there's a lot of turbulence and there's a lot of, you know, upheaval and things are going on. That's a big part of the Uranian energy as well. There is this collective knowing, or this collective path that we're taking here, and you know, especially with the connection to the nodes in such a tight thing here in these 22, you know, 22, 24, 27 degree sextiles and so on. Yeah, of course, with the Uranian and the Taurus energy, we could be looking at maybe some kind of earthquakes, things along those lines. That usually is pretty common when we have this Taurus stuff. One thing that's, you know, Jupiter is getting ready to exit out of here. It's not out of here yet, but for all our people, the friends down under who have been going through those flooding and that, it's probably going to let up once Jupiter, and that'll be within a week or so. Jupiter's going to get out of Pisces and bring into Aries, so that could potentially really help. I think the Jupiter and Neptune together, you know, where I live, we didn't have a lot of flooding or anything, but this winter was just snow up, you know, up to your waist. Like a lot of days it was like that we had maybe a hand, you know, maybe at least 5 to 8 days, you know, of you go out, there's this major blizzard where you can't even get the door open. So we were getting pounded with precipitation in the form of snow, you know, record snowfalls and everything. So that's the Jupiter Neptune. You know, that's bringing that water energy, whether it's frozen, you know, in snow, or if it's, you know, raining, whatever. So we could hopefully get some kind of a break for you guys. I'm hoping, you peeps. You guys is not a gender thing. It's just a thing that I just always have said, and I say it to whoever. It's not. Don't get bent out of shape because I say you guys. I'm trying to break that habit, but it just it's a thing. Yeah, the Uranus is doing this like a semi-sextile or whatever, but it's connected. There is a connection with the Chiron. You know, these can be big breakthroughs in healing. There's a lot of Chiron is definitely involved, and then Chiron's going to be involved too on the next one. So big breakthroughs in healing. You know, Chiron gets a bad rap. People want to feel like, oh, Chiron is the wounded healer. You're going to suffer. You know, here comes Chiron. You're going to suffer. You're going to suffer. I don't feel that. You know, I did those, I think it was the Aries. I have those painting classes, which are still available, the Solar Return. But one, I really did a deep dive. I think it was the Aries Ingress into Chiron. And Chiron was so accomplished. Chiron was a virtuoso musician, a philosopher, a mathematician. You know, he was taken under the wing, I believe it was by Apollo. And even though he was considered like a beast, you know, he was a whatever you call the half, you know, centaur, but there's also another word for half man, half beast, or whatever. You know, and the rest of the centaurs were kind of drunken idiots, you know, rowdy and just, you know, belligerent types. But Apollo took him and helped him. And so there is great grace with Chiron energy. There is a great blessings of rising above the group, rising out of the group, your lot in life, you know, transcending these difficulties into and transmuting them through expression, art, music, dance. Doesn't have to be, it could be just you journaling and getting your thoughts together, you know, or, you know, but creativity by the same token. I talk a lot about creativity, and I know a lot of creative people watch my stuff, and if you watch any of my stuff, you know I'm into it big time, you know, but you're creating your life all the time, you know, it's not just the arts. Everybody's creating their life all the time, coming up with ideas for work, problem solving. That's all creativity, you know, it's all using your creative faculties. What else was I going to say about it? Darn it. I can't think here. Yeah, this whole stellium too, another thing that's going on with it is it's sextiling the Pluto. Kind of the same thing, because Pluto, of course, is the ruler of Scorpio. So when I was talking about how the South Node, this nice trine energy, and how things can be released and, you know, let go of in a more harmonious or maybe a little less harsh way, yeah, that would be true with the sextile to the Pluto as well. Because Pluto is death and rebirth, you know. There's a death and rebirth that's wanting to happen at this time on the planet. We all know this, right? We're all on the same page of that, right? So this could facilitate it to come, you know, be a more harmonious, a less traumatic, you know, take some of the sting out of it, you know. Walk through the doorway willingly instead of having to be pushed and shoved. That's what the guys are coming through with here. And then the Mercury is also trining the Pluto at this time too. So communication can be open. And Mercury is in its own sign of Gemini here too. Just went 0 Gemini. So it's in a real power place. It's in its own sign. So communication for change can be, you know, flowing. Words can be flowing. What are they saying to me? I'm getting something from the guides about the words will be flowing and da-da-da-da-da-da. Is that the Wizard of Oz? Or is it some other... Oh, the words, they were flowing and da-da-da-da-da. It might not be flowing. But it's like describing some... And there's a group of people saying it. It's like it's a building of attention and whatever. I think it might be the Wizard of Oz. I'm not sure. I'm not getting it, but that came through. If anybody recognizes it and wants to copy and paste just the text of that little speech, or it's part of a song maybe, or it's a speech and a movie. It's either, I think it's either the Wizard of Oz or Into the Woods. It's from a musical movie. The words, they were coming and they were da-da-da. And then I think then they all joining in, but it's like trepidation surrounding it. It might be when they're going into the forest in the Wizard of Oz. I don't know. But, you know, there is this trepidation, yeah. People are, you know, the Urian energy in Taurus can really knock you off your base. It can really throw you off your center, you know. But there's so much Taurus energy here. The node is in Taurus. We've got these beautiful sextiles, you know, we've got a lot of earth energy going on here. I mean, it's predominantly earth and water. You know, we've got a couple things. Other than the asteroids, we've got just Mercury and Gemini. And I think that's it, right? Everything else is in earth and water. Oh, Saturn and Aquarius, yeah. So you got the 2 air things happening, but everything else is in earth and water. So earth and water is very much being in the 3D reality, grounded in the earth, fed by the water. These are the seeds that you're planting, and this is the watering can that's, you know, you're coming along and you're nurturing those seeds, and so they can flourish and they can bloom and blossom. And blossom they will is what's coming through from the guides, and blossom they will. Yeah, I like that. Okay, everybody, so one more time, just so you don't be fooled by imposters. I'm at vickieverlie.com. There's been a lot of imposter stuff going on, so just be careful on that. So I am offering the eclipse reading if you want to see how not only this eclipse, but also the full moon eclipse that's coming up on the 16th of May would affect you personally. I have that chart available for till the end of May, and it's a tri-wheel. So here's your chart, then I put this one, then I put the other one, and we go through and we look at not only the eclipse point, but just it's a check-in on all your transits to your chart. So these transit things are only available occasionally, you know, like 4 times a year. And if you want a transit reading other than now, it won't be available. A newer astrology reading that I've introduced and I've been getting great feedback from is the soulmate past life reading. So I've had that soul reading for several years, about where I look at your past lives through the chart. Now, it's not anything that's in a book. I just look at it and then I start getting downloads and information. It's a psychic reading, but I use the chart to hone in. The guides will show me things. And I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but it's turning out really good. And I'm enjoying doing it too, because I get sick of doing the same old readings all the time. I like to, when I get a new, it's been fun for me. And how it's been going down here lately, the last couple readings that I did, where normally if I do a soul reading for an individual, I will see, I'll just be watching the scene most of the time, and I'll just describe what I'm seeing, in these past lives and stuff. But what's happened several times with this two charts, the soulmate reading, one of the characters will come forward and tell the story from their point of view. So it's really interesting. So I'm not just watching, I'm listening, I'm saying, well, she's saying this, and she came forward and she's talking, and they start telling me about the life and the relationship in that life. And so it's a little different. I don't know if it happened every time, but it's been happening fairly frequently. I think that's kind of where that reading is heading. But I'm enjoying doing it, and I've gotten, people are enjoying the people have ordered are really liking it too. So if either of those interest you or any of the other stuff that I have for readings, I am open for readings. Check it out at my website, vickieverlie.com. You can also find links below in the description to specific things. Like if you are more into the channeled stuff, I do have the channeled books out. I have 2 books out that are just channeled material. So, peruse my website if it interests you. Otherwise, powerful time for manifestation, creativity. The sky is the limit. I mean, you could take this Jupiter, Venus, Neptune, and, you could get lost in it. You need to stay grounded, but you could also just take it to another level like never before. Really a big step up in ascension for many people, and psychic abilities just really opening up. If any of you want to develop that, this is really a powerful time to do so. And then you can really get some very profound, if not for humanity at large, maybe some profound insights to even into your your own life, with the Chiron interaction too. That'll be more so on the next one, but they could be very profound, very see clearly, unveil whatever's been your blockages and move right forward. All right, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in and supporting me and my channel in all the ways that you do. Also, my album is out. Please do check it out. You can find the link below. It is called Low Key, because it is definitely low key. It's very mellow. It's new age, mellow, instrumental music. It's free to listen on your music platforms. Doesn't cost a dime. Also, everything that you do to acknowledge the channel here, that all tells YouTube that the YouTube algorithm that you enjoy my content and that you would like to see more of it, including liking, sharing, subscribing for sure, hitting the subscribe button, because your engagement lets the YouTube algorithm know that you do enjoy my content, and it doesn't cost anything for you to do so, and it is so much appreciated. I do have a Patreon page as well, or you can donate directly. Many people just donate directly. That's also always appreciated, and I'm so thankful for those who do, my Patreon peeps, and those who do donate regularly. Alright, here it is. New moon in Taurus. Eclipse season is underway, everybody. Powerful mojo to work with. You work with it, don't let it work you over. You work with the energy. Okay, that didn't quite come out right, but you get the gist. Alright, everybody. Till next time.